We've heard the realm under the king referred to as the Seven Kingdoms ever since the beginning of the series.
Lord of the Seven Kingdoms.
Protector of the Seven Kingdoms.
Protector of the Seven Kingdoms.
Of the Andals and the First Men, and Lord of the Seven Kingdoms.
But if you've ever looked at the Westeros map or paid close attention to the dialogue, you probably noticed that there are actually 9 kingdoms. When Aegon Targaryen decided to conquer and unite all the kingdoms for the first time, 300 years before the story begins, there were 7 kingdoms here. During this time, the Crown Lands didn't exist yet, and the Iron Islands and Riverlands were a part of one kingdom called the Isles and Rivers. The remaining kingdoms at the time were the same ones we know: the North, the Vale, the Westerlands, Dorne, and the Stormlands, that looked very different back then. The Targaryen family and their dragons had been ruling over the island Dragonstone in Westeros for a while under no king. When they conquered Westeros, Aegon decided they should move their family home closer to all the other kingdoms they rule over, instead of being secluded on their island. They had the Red Keep built as their castle in the region, in an area that was just for fishermen in the past, at the mouth of Blackwater Bay. Aegon tasked his alleged half-brother Orys Baratheon with defeating the Storm King during their conquest. After Orys defeated the last Storm King, Orys was awarded the Stormlands and became its new lord. But a large chunk of the kingdom was divided to create a new kingdom for the Targaryens. The islands aside from Dragonstone and Blackwater Bay also became a part of the Crown Lands. Driftmark, ruled by House Valyrion, and Claw Isle, ruled by House Celtigar, have always been loyal followers of the Targaryens since they originate from Valyria as well. They were the first to join the Targaryens' army, so they wouldn't mind being summed up with the Crown Lands. The Stormlands was separated at the forest called the Kingswood. It's a forest where the king goes on his hunts, and it serves as the two kingdoms' borders. A lot of the areas within the old Stormlands were disputed with the Riverlands, and there were constant wars for its territory in the past. Aegon the Conqueror actually decided to unite the 7 kingdoms because of one of these disputes between the last Storm King and the man ruling over the Riverlands. Before the Greyjoys were the ruling house of the Iron Islands, it was House Hoare. Since the Riverlands don't have a lot of natural defenses, King Harwin Hoare took the Riverlands from Storm King. King Harwin named himself the King of the Isles and Rivers. Harwin's grandson, King Harren Hoare, was an ambitious man and began the construction of the largest castle in Westeros. He picked out some of the best land in the Riverlands near the God's Eye for his new family's home, Harrenhal. The last Storm King was afraid that Harren would expand his kingdom into his own, and asked Aegon the Conqueror to join him in an alliance to take him out. Their negotiations ended horribly, with the last Storm King having the hands of Aegon's messenger cut off, while his alleged half-brother handled the Stormlands. Atop his dragon Balerion, Aegon had Harrenhal burned with dragon fire. It took 40 years to build a castle, and the day Harren moved in, it was burnt, killing everyone inside. The Ironborn had no business ruling over the Riverlands with their cruel barbaric customs, so Aegon rewarded the kingdom to House Tully. They were never the kings of the Trident in this region like other houses, but they were quick to join the Targaryen side in the conquest and not oppose them. Chaos broke out in the Iron Islands with a vacant seat now open for a ruler. Aegon left the Ironborn to decide who should rule over themselves in a vote like how they used to do in the past. The Greyjoys were chosen in this election. The kingdom of the Isles and Rivers didn't last long before returning to their original state of 2 separate kingdoms. Aegon's conquest began with trying to unite 7 different kingdoms, but by the end of it, it turned to 9. Instead of calling it the 9 Kingdoms, I guess they kept the old name of 7 since it represents what Aegon was trying to accomplish 300 years ago. His title became the Protector of the Realm and the King of the 7 Kingdoms, even though back then Dorne was not able to be conquered. They would only be a part of this unified rule through marriages between the Martells and the Targaryens many generations later. So the name of the 7 Kingdoms may be a little strange and confusing to some of you, but that's the reasoning behind it. Hope you enjoyed this shorter video. I'll be back with some more next week. Thanks for watching.